Why I Married a Filipina. That is the topic of today's video. So, stick around and let's get into today's topic. "18 months ago, I boarded a flight at Dublin Airport that would change my life forever. My destination, the Philippines. My mission, to meet a Filipina, to meet Tina, who is now my lovely wife. So, in this video, I want to answer the question, why I married a Filipina, why I married Tina. And by answering this question, I hope to highlight some attributes that I found in Tina that you might be looking for in a Filipina. So, let's get to it, shall we? If somebody had said to me when I was 18 years old that by the time you reach 30, you will be married to a Filipina and living in the Philippines, I would have thought that they were joking. I would have thought that they weren't being serious, because I had no desire to be married to a Filipina. I had no desire to be living in the Philippines. And yet, here I am. I'm married to the most beautiful woman in the world, in my opinion. And I'm living in the Philippines. As a Christian, I always believe that God directs my steps, and I'm certain that He has always directed my steps. I know for sure that He has always directed my steps. And He directed my steps to the Philippines. He directed my steps so that I could meet Tina. And it's always good to take time out to reflect on your life. And as I look back over the last few years of my life, it gives me the opportunity to answer this question, the why question, the why I married a Filipina. As we both mentioned in a previous vlog, myself and Tina met online before the end of 2019, December 2019, just before the pandemic started. And at that point in time, I did not know much about the Philippines. I did not know much about Filipinas. I was oblivious to the world of Philippines. I was oblivious to the world of Filipinas. I was oblivious to the world of long-distance relationship. I did know that a friend of mine was in the early stages of a relationship with a Filipina. I knew that he had been to the Philippines and he had met his Filipina girlfriend, who is now also his wife. That was okay for him. But I was looking for something closer to home. But I didn't seem to be having much success with women in my country. And it just seemed that circumstances didn't allow me to find the right Christian woman in the United Kingdom. Particularly in Northern Ireland, you're very limited. It's because it's a small population, you're very limited. So I was looking for a Christian woman, and the church that I go to wasn't one of these popular churches with a lot of young people. So I wasn't able to find the right woman in my own church. And so I resorted to online dating. I looked online and I was searching online. And there were some profiles that were active. And when I messaged them, I didn't really get a response, or we just exchanged very simple, quick hi, hello messages. Nothing really developed. When I say nothing really developed, I did go on one or two dates, meet for coffee, that kind of thing, but nothing really developed from those dates. So I was dipping in and out of online dating, and as I say, there wasn't many options of Christian women to choose from in my country, because obviously I wasn't going to settle for anyone. I wouldn't settle for a non-Christian. That's not where I am. That's not what I believe. And so I was looking for one who I would be compatible with. But as I mentioned to you already about my friend who was with a Filipina, I knew about his situation in the back of my mind. And so I think my mind was kind of being open to the possibility of meeting someone from a different country, because I wasn't getting anywhere in my home country. I just wasn't succeeding. I was getting different messages when I was online dating. I was getting messages from women in different countries, from like Asia, from Africa, but I wasn't interested, because I wasn't interested in LDR. I wasn't interested in meeting someone from a different country. But you know what happens when the right person comes along? Things change, circumstances change, your mindset changed. And so when Tina came into my life, my mindset changed. And isn't that funny how life finds a way of changing our circumstances, our mindset? So God was directing my steps. God was changing my mind, and he was directing me to Tina. So should I say that it was actually God directed Tina to me rather than me being directed to Tina? Because she was the one that messaged me first, and the rest is history. And so if you haven't already watched the How Did We Meet vlog, in which myself and Tina tell you the story of how we met, how we developed our online relationship, then I will link that for you in this video, so you can click on that video and give it a watch. Back to the topic, back to the question, why did I marry a Filipina? Why did I marry Tina? Well, we met online just before the beginning of the pandemic. And little did we know that it would be 2 years. Little did we know that it would be 2 years before we could actually meet in person. So that's a long time of waiting. And within a month or two of meeting Tina online, I already knew that I wanted to be with her. I already knew that I wanted to meet her. And so when the pandemic hit, I was thinking to myself, oh no, here we go. It's another thing stopping me from getting into a relationship and meeting this godly woman, this woman from the Philippines. There was part of me that was quite impatient about the whole situation with having to wait. We didn't know how long we were going to wait. But waiting is good. We had to be patient. The waiting gave us time to develop our online friendship, our online relationship. It gave me time to get to know Tina, to get to understand her, and to fall in love with her. I also watched plenty of vlogs about what to expect in the Philippines, and what to expect when in a relationship with Filipina, or different characteristics of Filipinas. And those vlogs were helpful to a certain extent. But looking back on it now, I realise it's important not to take everything these vlogs say as 100% truth, or not to take them all at face value. I will take me by that. Some vlogs make it sound as if all Filipinas are the same. People talk about Filipinas as if they are robots, and I think that's the wrong way to. I think that's wrong to talk about Filipinas like that. But that's the vibes that I get watching some of those vlogs. Now there is truths that you can take away from those vlogs, but don't fully rely on those vlogs. Don't go away fully expecting that you will know everything about a Filipina, because the expectation is different from the reality to a certain extent. Because at the end of the day, Filipinas are still women, and each Filipina is a unique individual. And so when you get into a relationship with a Filipina, don't come to that relationship with a cocky attitude that you would expect that you will know everything there is to know about that Filipina, because she is different from the Filipina vlogs that you've watched. Every Filipina is different. So every Filipina is going to have different qualities. Yes, they share similar attitudes and similar qualities because of their culture. But you need to realize that Filipinos are women. Women are different from men. They are unique. And so you can't rely completely on a vlog. Even this vlog, it's something that you have to experience for yourself. That relationship with Filipina is something you have to experience and nurture and develop for yourself. Like any woman, you need to take time to get to know your Filipina. Take time to understand your Filipina. Take time to appreciate her unique abilities. Don't go into that relationship thinking that you know everything there is to know about a Filipina, because that's not how relationships work. Relationships take time and effort, and take time to get to know that person. Yeah, so that's just a way a tangent, but I need to get back on. Well, we are on topic still, I think, but that was just a note, because it was something I've been thinking about, that there is this aspect of where vloggers want you to have this mindset when it comes to Filipina, and it is good to have that mindset. You can't expect certain qualities from a Filipina, but again, they are unique. They are different. Each Filipina is different. Even though I will highlight traits that I found in Tina, they may be helpful for you in searching for a Filipina. At the end of the day, I don't want you to come away from this vlog thinking that you have figured out a Filipina, because a relationship with a Filipina is something that you have to experience for yourself. And the first thing I noticed about Tina when we met online was her beauty. Yes, it's true, Filipinas are naturally beautiful, and Tina is naturally beautiful. I noticed her outward beauty, just her face, so radiant and lovely, guapa. And also her inward beauty. I discovered more of her inward beauty as I got to know her, as I developed my relationship with her. And it helped me to understand who this woman is and develop my relationship with her, fall in love with her basically. Tina was beautiful, and she is still beautiful inwardly and outwardly. And I think to myself every day when I wake up and look at her, I think to myself how blessed I am to have a woman like that as my wife. Although I'm not sure if she wakes up next to me and says, "Oh, that man next to me is so handsome." But that's a joke, by the way. You'll have to ask her that sometime. The next thing I noticed about Tina, and one of the most important aspects for me, is her godly attitude. From very early on in our online communication, we both made it clear that we are Christians. We talked about our faith, our Christian values, our Christian views on certain things, on certain topics. And I was intrigued to hear about Tina talking about her walk with God, her service to God in church, and her love and care for other people as well as her desire for a godly man. So she was looking for a committed Christian, and those things impressed me about her, because I wanted a godly woman who wasn't looking for something superficial or artificial, but someone who was looking for a man that was a Christian. That was her priority, and so that was my priority, to look for a woman that was a Christian. So the two values matched up together. She wasn't shy in talking about God. She wasn't shy in sharing her story of how she became a Christian, of her struggles as a Christian. She wasn't shy about any of that. And so that was encouraging to me. That was what I was looking for in a woman. Her first priority is God. If you're a Christian, that's what you should look for in a woman, that her first priority is not to her man, it's not to her husband, but her first priority is to God, and then to her husband. And so from very early on, she was always an encouragement to my faith, and she would send me Bible verses and Christian songs, especially just before I was going out to work in the morning. And that was an encouragement for me for the day. She would also send me songs that she was singing, songs that she had recorded. And it was lovely just to hear her lovely, sweet, tender, beautiful voice. And her love for God, her love for church, and her love and care for other people are one of the reasons that I fell in love with her and married her. That was the most important reason, I would say, actually. Because if she wasn't putting God first in her life, if she wasn't speaking about God to me, if we weren't connecting spiritually, then I think the online relationship would have fizzled out very quickly. But we both knew what we wanted. I knew what I wanted, and she knew what she wanted. And so she is still an encouragement to my faith. Secondly, growing up in a rural village in the province, Tina was from a background that's not so well off. And that's okay, because she has experienced different circumstances from me. And so she has been able to share with me her life experiences, which are different from mine. And I've been able to share with her my life experiences, which are different from hers. And it makes us very compatible, because I have experiences that she doesn't have, and she has experiences that I don't have. But she made it clear from very early on in our online relationship that she wasn't very well off. But she has a simple attitude to life, a simple traditional attitude to life. So she would be quite responsible for overseeing her family, because her mom and aunt were both working away in Hong Kong, and the dad would be out at work as well. So she was responsible for nurturing her brothers and her cousins while she was growing up and into her 20s as well. So she has this maturity about her, this nurturing, feminine, not feminist, that's completely different, but feminine attributes, which are essential when you're looking for a wife. You want a wife who is nurturing, who is caring, who is feminine. And as I said, she has a simple outlook on the world I don't like, which is something that I really appreciate about her. She does not pretend to be someone else. She doesn't pretend to hide. She is just Tina. And I love her for that. She laughs about the simple things in life. That's what I noticed from very early on. So I love to hear it when she's laughing, when she's singing, and when she's full of happiness, which is quite often. I remember when I first arrived in Guimaras, and an older man said to me that you are blessed to have a woman like Tina in your life. And you know what? That man was absolutely right. I am blessed to have Tina as my wife. As I said earlier, I had no interest in meeting a woman from a different country. I had no interest in LDR. I had never thought anything about the Philippines or meeting a Filipina in the Philippines. But when a certain Filipina came into my life, my mindset changed from saying no to saying yes. And so I'm blessed to be able to wake up next to a beautiful Filipina every day that loves me and cares for me. One who is loving, caring, and loyal. If you are looking to find a Filipina that is loving, caring, and loyal, then maybe you should consider signing up to Christian Filipina, which is a safe, secure, reliable online dating service. And perhaps you will be able to meet a loving, caring, loyal Filipina and your potential life partner by clicking on the link in the description below. Another thing that impressed me about Tina was her commitment and loyalty to me. She still remains committed and loyal to me as ever. During the pandemic, I was probably the more impatient one. I wanted to meet her as soon as possible, even though we couldn't because of the lockdown. And so I was getting rather impatient with having to wait for so long. And there was times when I felt like giving up. But Tina wasn't like that. she made it clear to me that she was willing to wait for me, no matter how long the pandemic lasted. She was willing to wait. She was patient. She was loyal, and she was committed. As the pandemic went on, eventually I became more committed to her. Especially when I asked her to become my online girlfriend, that was me showing my commitment to her. But it took a while for me to get to that stage. But from very early on, she was committed. She was loyal. And during the pandemic, I was also, while I was working in an office job, I was also working part-time as an intern for my church. And that was a really difficult time because it involved a lot of change, a lot of difficulty with working in the church, especially during the pandemic. And I was troubled. I was struggling, not with my faith, but with the work that I was doing. And I kept complaining to Tina about it. And she did not give up on me. She did not say, oh, there's him again. He's moaning, he's complaining. I'm maybe going to find someone else who doesn't complain. But she stuck by me. She encouraged me. She showed loyalty to me during my difficulty. She showed commitment to me during my difficulty. She showed love to me during my difficulty. She did not give up on me when I found things difficult. She remained loyal, committed, and faithful. And she prayed for me. And I know that she shared with her pastors in church that they prayed for me as well. So I was not alone. Even though she was on the other side of the world, she was with me because God had brought her to me. I am thankful for her. And I love her so much. There are so many more things that I could say about Tina. But as I bring this video to a conclusion, I'll just remind you of these qualities that I have brought to you in this video. Qualities which you might be able to find in a Filipina. Qualities that you should look for in a Filipina. Godliness, beauty, both inwardly and outwardly. A simple attitude to life, commitment, and loyalty. These are 5 things that I was looking for in a woman, and I found them in Tina. So if you want to meet a beautiful, godly Filipina with a simple attitude to life that will show commitment and loyalty to you, then just click the link in the description below. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.